Hi everyone. So earlier I was making a video in which I was talking about how important voices are for a blind person versus pictures, and that got me to thinking about autographs in books. So here's my take on that. For most people, autographs in books are very cool. You get them, you open up the book, you see your name, your inscription, whatever. But the same thing doesn't happen when you're blind. A blind person can't open up that book and be like, oh hey, look, this is autographed. And this author's really cool, and they wrote a really cool note inside. When I look at a autographed book, I don't see anything. I don't see the print in the book. I don't see the picture on the cover, unless it's just an outline of the picture. And I most certainly can't see the autograph. What I prefer instead is to find an audio version of a book that either has the author's voice in it or has the author narrating the book itself. I'm even happy with the author just narrating one part of the book. To me, that's kind of my version of an autograph. It feels like, when I read a book like that, it feels like the author did it just for me, even though I know that the author didn't read their book for me or because I said, hey, I want this version. The author read their book because they wanted to. You know, that's the simple truth. They wanted to read their book, so they did. And they most likely weren't thinking of blind or visually impaired people when they did this. I once attended a book signing with Dog the Bounty Hunter, and I got an autographed book. And for most people, that was the cool part. That's what they wanted. But all I wanted was to meet Dog in person. I wanted to shake his hand and feel his muscles and everything, and I got to do that, and it was so cool. Like, I didn't even really care about the book itself. I just wanted to meet Dog. I wanted to hear his voice, maybe have him read a passage of his book, because to me, that was more important than an autograph. He literally could have just given me a book that wasn't autographed, and I would have been just as happy. And really, what I wanted was him narrating that book for me. I just wish more authors would keep blind people in mind, you know, when they're autographing a book. Like, yeah, we can take pictures of the book, and, you know, the software that we have can tell us what it says. But I would rather just open up a book and be able to feel it with my own fingers or hear it with my own ears. That means more to me than having some piece of software tell me that it was someone's signature. That means more to me than any autograph I could ever get. Having someone's voice, the author, narrating his or her own book, means more to me than an autograph, because a voice, like a picture, is precious. You might have it 1 minute and you might not the next. You know, it's just like writing in that regard. You might have the autograph now, but are you going to have it 5, 10, 15 years from now? And even if you have the autographed version of the book, are you going to be able to pull out that book and be like, hey, look, I got this book and it's narrated by the author. Isn't that cool? You know, by the time you have kids, are you going to be able to do that? What about your grandkids? You can pretty much do the same thing with a book that is narrated by the author. I can pull out a book right now that an author narrated and play it and be like, look, this is narrated by the author. Isn't that cool? I'm not trying to say that this is the same thing. I realize that I'm comparing apples and oranges here. But I am happy that authors narrating their own books is becoming less uncommon than what it used to be. I remember that I used to get so excited whenever I would find a book that was even partially narrated by the author. And now it's becoming more common. And that makes me really happy because now I can add all of these books to my collection and be like, hey, look, this is narrated by the author. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? And the good thing about it is you can digitize books that are narrated by the author. With autographed books, it's a little harder to do, unless you plan on taking pictures and putting them online. Anyway, that's my opinion on why hearing an author's voice is kind of like an autograph for me, and why it's better than an autograph. And now I'd like to hear from you. Which one do you prefer? Autograph or the author narrating the book or some... Thank you so much for watching. This would not be a typical video from me if I did mess up at least once, right? I hope you liked this video enough to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring that notification bell. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at StuffSurratt. Like my Facebook page at StuffSurrattBooks. Join my Patreon community. We really need to come up with a cool nickname for you guys because I feel weird calling you Patreons. But my Patreon is StuffSurratt. If you would like to support me in any way, I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.